Hi, welcome to another episode of Strive Sessions. I'm Valerie, and I work with our clinical team. Today, I have a couple colleagues with me. I have Krista, she manages our customer success team, and I also have Billy. He's the head of our sales team.
Today, we're going to be talking about a concept that we like to call the triangle offense. Our goal at Strive is to help our providers. We also want to make sure that we're helping you to run your business in a smart way. Some of you might be familiar with the term triangle offense. It's a philosophy that was made popular by Phil Jackson in the 90s with the Chicago Bulls. When I was thinking about how our three teams could work together, I also happened to be reading his book, 11 Rings. And so that's what inspired the idea of calling it the triangle offense and copying Phil Jackson.
That's amazing. We're excited to get started on this. So let's go over our agenda for today. First, we're going to talk about how the triangle offense works. And then we're going to meet the team of professionals that we have working at Strive that help you create your triangle offense. Then we're going to talk about the three across play and then applying the method with your team members here at Strive.
Each of our teams plays a unique role in ultimately helping your practice be successful. The sales team, our role is to be head of strategy. Anything commercial, we want to help you with pricing. We want to help with introducing new medications, help you understand what's happening in the industry again, so that we're helping you drive good patient outcomes as well as run your business well. Um, Valerie's team's role is to be the experts on the medications. So our goal is that anytime you or your team has questions about medications or wants to do a bit of a deeper dive, we have a team of pharmacists that's dedicated to being experts in everything that Strive sells. And then we've got Krista's team, who's working really hard behind the scenes, essentially acting as a liaison between the sales team, the provider, and the operations side, just to make sure that logistically it's really easy to work with Strive.
And I think, as you mentioned, this is a really unique role that I don't see a lot of other pharmacies offering. So we have, maybe we get the sales team member on a call and then the provider's asking a lot of clinical questions and they say, hey, we have a team dedicated just to this. Let me get you on a call with our clinical liaison or a pharmacist that can go over these medications with you and what they're best used for. And I just think that's such an amazing benefit to have that we wanna make sure that you understand it. So all the sales team members have a dedicated clinical liaison, and then they also have a dedicated customer success manager. Do you wanna talk a little bit about the role there?
Yeah. So the customer success managers are really in tune with data. They identify trends. They help to ensure that we're driving towards your goals. Really keeping track of, are we, meeting your needs? Are you happy? The customer success managers really do focus on your success.
And I think it's important to, you have your relationship with your sales member, and the clinical liaison can also come out and do visits to the clinic or virtual visits. And it's really nice when the CSM kind of puts together some of that data for you so that you are able to look and see, oh, I could grow in this area, I can grow in this area. And then the clinical liaison has a better knowledge base of what to talk to the clinic about.
Yeah. Um, So at the end of the day, we want everyone at Strive to be knowledgeable about our medications, but we also want people to have specializations. I don't necessarily want my sales reps to be pharmacists. That's what Valerie's team is for. I want them to be focused on being consultative to our providers. And then that also allows Chris's team to enter in and make sure that everything on the back end is running smoothly for you. But all three have to work in cohesion ultimately to drive the best results for your practice.
Yeah, it's a super collaborative team. We even talk outside of this. I'm constantly in contact with Krista, constantly in contact with Billy, so that we're making sure we're optimizing the team to the best of our ability. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the team itself so that you kind of understand a little bit more about what we call the creator, the sales representative, the strategist, which is your customer success manager, and the specialist, the clinical liaison. We're going to kind of talk about what they do in their daily roles as well, just so you see they're not just on calls with providers, but what the education or what they're doing in the background a little bit more. So the first one up is the creator or the sales representative.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I want my sales reps or the creators to be the ones that are doing a deep dive with you and really understanding what are the goals of your practice? What are your pain points? What can we do to help you be more successful and ultimately to drive better patient outcomes? So sometimes this is going to look like them emailing you, calling you, setting up meetings. They're going to find out Do we need some data to better understand how you're prescribing? Is there anything we can do to help run that smoother? And that's where they're going to bring in Krista's team, the customer success managers. Or, hey, we need some education on some new medications that we've been hearing about. And that's where we're going to pull in Valerie's team, that they can come in and educate that. Or if you need pricing on a certain medication that you're wanting to expand into or start prescribing, that's where your sales rep is going to come in and help you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really fun to collaborate with your team as well. I have quite a few people reach out to me saying, "Hey, can we get this in some clinical information, or can we do this?" And they also ask a lot of questions on the clinical side. So we have channels that they can reach out to the pharmacist just on their own about specific products that we might be offering, or if the clinic has a question that they can't answer, then we'll bring in the pharmacist in the background as well. Speaking of the customer success team, we're going to have Krista talk a little bit more about the strategist and what they do on a day-to-day basis.
The customer success managers, we love data. We're really in tune with data on a very granular level to help identify trends, as I've previously stated, and just make sure that things are moving in the direction that you anticipate or expect. We work very closely with the sales reps and also the liaisons to make sure that all of your needs are met. And we help to co facilitate those meetings where we're getting together to really talk about what things look like now and also the future state of what they're going to look like. We really do manage the day to day needs, including a lot of your order support, and also we're your experts on the provider portal. And then we also provide a lot of education, more so on, again, the provider portal and how you're performing with Strive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate both of your teams so much because we all know that our provider portal is a little bit tricky. And so I'm not an expert in that. And I'm certainly not an expert in selling. I have been in the field with some sales reps and I appreciate everything that they do. And I appreciate everything that the CSM does for the field visits. And so it's really great to work alongside. Next, we're going to talk about the clinical liaison team or the specialist, and the specialist being everyone on this team is a pharmacist. And we don't bring anybody in from outside the organization. We actually train them inside of Strive first. So they're aware of the medications that we offer and how Strive works as a company. So they provide collaborative provider support. So if you have a question on a specific topic or a medication, or even if it's a medication that we don't currently offer, we will dive deep into the research and the data that's out there to get you the best answers that we can. We provide that clinical education. We do it on one calls or sales team member calls where they add us in. We will do ride along or visits with the sales team members. We also can hold even like mini webinars for your office, or we can also do them for that they are patient facing. So if you're interested in having a webinar done with a couple of patients, we can do that as well. We can create meaningful conversations, or we can also create a slide deck and present information out to your clinics. So we understand the Strive products that are offered, but then we also understand what's in the pipeline. So we get a lot of questions about medications that maybe we don't offer or are not allowed to offer, and so we have that information as well. And we are able to give that to the best of our ability. In the background, we also create a lot of info sheets. We create a lot of slide decks. We do clinical dinners. We support our conferences, and we do a lot of other presentations as well. So it's really fun to be on this team. And it's a really unique thing that I think Strive offers, that not only do you have the sales member and you have the CSM, which I also haven't really heard about at other pharmacies, but we have that pharmacist, that unique pharmacist for you to engage with. And these are pharmacists that are not in other workflow areas. They are not filling prescriptions. They are not in the call center. They are specific to help the sales team. So it's really cool that we have that opportunity to do that. Next, we're going to talk about the three across play. And I think we will start with the CSM, or talk about what does three across play mean, I guess, to you, Billy. What does three across play mean?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I want my sales reps being the ones that are understanding what your needs are, asking the right questions, and then from there, bringing in the right resources that are going to help you be the most successful. And so sometimes that's going to look like setting up a webinar for your office where a clinical liaison team can come in and educate your entire team on certain things, or do a deep dive on certain medications, or maybe even help you understand why you shouldn't do some medications. And I also love the fact that we offer a customer success manager because the pharmaceutical industry is complicated and it's not feasible for our sales reps to know everything about every medication, to know everything about our different software tools, what's happening behind the scenes. And that's where our customer success team is able to come in as an additional resource to our sales reps and give you the data and the operational support that you need.
Yeah, and I have been, like I mentioned, in the field with the sales team members, and it is very difficult to also then be on your computer trying to figure out, where an order might be or having those questions, which is great to have the CSM team, and then also answering the clinical questions. We've talked about this before, but we offer over 200 medications. There's no way that everybody could know what they are and what they do. And even our clinical liaisons, if they're not super familiar with something, if they're scheduled a call, they'll make sure that they dive deep before the call is happening. So it is super beneficial to have all three at once. And I know in the field is mayhem. Like
Yeah.
you are out in the field all day answering questions, talking to providers, and so it is really difficult to get that information out. So really appreciative of the three people that we have here. Um, and then talking about just the clinical liaisons again and their knowledge base. Obviously, like you said, you touched on maybe things that we shouldn't be giving our patients. And that's something, we can look at contraindications. We can make sure that we're following good guidelines. And also, additionally, if you're wanting to maybe add products into your clinic, if those products make sense with the products that you're already offering. So we're able to kind of talk about that. Is there anything you wanted to add on about the CSM team and that role in the three across play?
Yeah, just that CSMs love to utilize the data to tell your story as it's written today and also give you the tools to be able to edit that story for the future. And that includes giving you information about your current volume, the medications that you're prescribing, and making sure you're in alignment with where you expected to be in the partnership here with us. And again, we do work very closely together with the liaisons and the sales reps. We're really a unified team.
And I think you're able to schedule that call as well. I mean, we can all be on one call together, but it's really nice to schedule a call with your CSM to get all that data. Um, and you would have your sales member there too, but to get all that data laid out for you. So that's something that's unique that's offered at Strive as well. So now we're going to talk about applying the method and just different roles and responsibilities for each member of the team. We've kind of touched on these, but just kind of a nice little wrap up here. The clinical liaison roles and responsibilities, obviously that clinical knowledge base, right? So clinical questions, you can, if you know your clinical liaison well, you can go through them. They all have their Zoom numbers, much like the sales team, but you can absolutely go through the sales team member as well. We also have a email address, clinical@strivepharmacy.com that questions come into. We can expand on product knowledge and offerings, which I had touched on. If you're already offering something in your clinic and maybe you want to expand, I know something big right now is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So a lot of people are kind of expanding into there just based off of recent FDA changes. So it's been nice we've had a lot of conversations about that. And then we also just serve as your trusted resource on clinical information. Like I said, we have the info sheets, we have trifolds, we have literature reviews. If you're looking for something specific, maybe it's you're looking at GLP-1s and some research that's come out on other disease states that it can help. We have a lot of resources for that. The next roles and responsibilities we want to talk about are on the sales rep side.
Yeah. Uh, so our sales reps are, out driving around on the phone, on meetings all day long with other providers. Some of our sales reps are literally meeting with hundreds of providers every single month. And so they can be an incredible resource for you to understand what are other people doing to be successful, whether that be running your business or driving patient outcomes. That's what our sales reps are there for. They're there to help own the relationship that you have with Strive and make sure that it's a successful one.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then, of course, the roles and responsibilities for the CSM team.
Yes, you'll hear quite a bit from your CSMs as we help to manage your day to day needs, really ensuring that you have what it takes for your practice to be successful and that your patients' needs are also met. We also help to put together the strategy decks in conjunction with your sales rep and your clinical liaison to present the data in a very digestible way for you to understand where you're at today and again, where you might be going. And then we do take the time to analyze that data pretty critically just to ensure that we're not missing anything and that we have all the information as we help you to develop your story here with Strive. If you like what you heard today, please reach out to your sales rep. And if you're not sure who that is, you can always reach out to csm@strivepharmacy.com.
Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Strive Sessions. We hope that you found this valuable. Please stick around for the live Q&A right after this.